Brexit supporter Ranil Jayawardena, the Conservative MP for North East Hampshire, claimed the President of the European Commission Jean-Claude Juncker has led to Remain supporters now wanting to leave the European Union. Mr. Jayawardena also claimed the European Council President, Donald Tusk, had also swayed the views of Remain supporters. He told Express.co.uk, "I think Jean-Claude Juncker's comments and has actually been very helpful to the cause that I subscribe to, because he has demonstrated that the European Union isn't a club that many people want to be part of. I have met lots of Remain voters that have told me that, actually, given the way he, particularly, has treated us, but more recently Donald Tusk as well, that actually they would have voted to leave because this is not something they want to be party to." Speaking last week, he added, "Interestingly, there has been a big difference between the EU and the UK. This I will give to the EU. They have been much more disciplined in terms of having a negotiating position, and sticking to it." Brexit news. Ranil Jayawardena claimed Jean-Claude Juncker had helped the Brexit cause. Image Getty. "We, of course, have opened ourselves to having this debate in public, in Parliament, and that has weakened our position. Those people who said they wanted Parliament to have a say, I think if you look back at who those people were, again they were people who wanted to stay in the EU. They're people who wanted to frustrate Brexit. I think they have done that to a large degree," Mr. Jayawardena added. "It was the job of parliamentarians was to secure the very best deal in our national interest," he said. "It is our national interest, not my party's interest, not the Prime Minister's interest. It is the national interest. I think Jean-Claude Juncker's comments and has actually been very helpful to the cause that I subscribe to." Ranil Jayawardena, "We have got to be mindful that whatever we decide today is going to be what decides the future of our country for the next 30, 50, 100 years. I'm thinking about my daughters. What sort of country are they going to grow up in?" The European Council President Mr. Tusk sparked fury after he claimed there was a special place in hell for those campaigners who helped Britain towards a leave vote. Mr. Juncker has also been criticised for his interventions on Brexit and in December warned the UK to get its act together. It comes following a turbulent week for the Prime Minister after her withdrawal agreement was overwhelmingly rejected for a second time on Tuesday by a majority of 149 votes. A motion in Mrs. May's name, authorizing the Prime Minister to request an extension to the two-year Article 50 negotiation process, was passed by 413 votes to 200 and to a majority of 211 on Thursday evening. The EU27 have to unanimously agree to the extension, and senior EU leaders have demanded a clear vision from Britain if they accept a delay to Brexit. Read more. Tory MP warns EU may not extend Article 50. ₹50 May hopes to bring her withdrawal agreement back to the House of Commons by March 20 in the hope of securing the support of MPs who rejected it by 230 votes in January and 149 last week. If the deal passes, she will go to Brussels next Thursday to request a short delay to a date no later than June 30 to give herself time to pass legislative changes necessary for a smooth and orderly Brexit. But, if her deal is rejected, Mrs. May has said there would have to be an extension far longer and would involve the UK taking part in European Parliament elections in May. Cabinet Office Minister David Lidington told MPs that in this case, the government would stage 2 weeks of debate following the March 21 to 22 summit for the Commons to try to establish a majority around a different plan. Mrs. May's official spokesman said, "The Prime Minister absolutely wanted and strived for the UK to be leaving the EU on March 29. Everything she had done since she entered office was intended to deliver that. She didn't want there to be an extension and brought forward the withdrawal agreement twice. Parliament chose to reject that deal and we now have to confront the difficult position that decisions taken by Parliament have left us in. What we now intend to do, if at all possible, is to secure a deal which allows us to ask only for a short technical extension which would allow us to have left the EU by June 30.